Hey y'all, it is Vlogmas Day 3, and today I'm gonna do just kind of like a talking, little bit of a story time video and like kind of an explanation about some stuff that's been going on with me that I'm working on right now. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go through that real quick. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit. I've mentioned it in a few videos that I am currently on like a weight loss journey. And if you're not interested in hearing about weight loss, you can skip this video. I completely understand. And honestly, I don't like it. I don't like that I'm doing it. I don't like talking about it. But I did want to kind of come on here and explain like why and what the purpose is. And hopefully we'll know soon because hopefully it will happen. Anyway, I bought my house a couple years ago, and luckily I was able to do so with some money from an inheritance I got from my uncle who died a handful of years ago. And so I was able to buy this nice house, which I super appreciate. But once I had like that stress over of buying the house, I was like, I really need to get on top of my mental health and my physical health and just try to be like more comfortable and happy physically now that I kind of felt comfortable and happy in my like physical space, that I was like comfortable with that and I didn't have to worry about like rent increasing and stuff like that, or like suddenly being kicked out of a place and having to move that someone owned. It's happened to me a couple times. So that was really comforting, just be like, okay, that's not going to happen here. And now I can focus on, more of the physical stuff and mental stuff. So I've been wanting to get a breast reduction for a while now, probably for half my life. I'm a 42J, and J is a pretty late letter for cup sizes. And not only is it very hard to find bras that fit me and look nice and work with like whatever kind of clothing I'm trying to buy, hard to buy tops that fit well, and also I have a lot of back pain and like a hunch, a little bit of like a humpback kind of thing from just like leaning forward so much because of just the weight on my chest pulling me forward. And it's been that way my whole life. I've tried really hard previously to like stand up straight and do all that, and it's just like, no, it's not working. It hurts. I do also plan on working on back muscles in that area to hopefully improve some of my posture later, but I'm hoping that the breast reduction will help me significantly in that regard. So once I moved in here, I was like, okay, I would like that to happen. Let me inquire to my doctor if we could do that. So I'm meeting with my primary care physician. I love her. I was like, hey, does insurance here cover a breast reduction? Like, would that work for my insurance? And she was like, sure. What size are you? And I told her 42J. And she said, oh yeah, probably. Like that sounds pretty high. Yeah, that would probably work. And I was like, yeah, cool. Let's do that. The problem is they told me that I couldn't even be referred because my BMI was too high. So there's like a cap on the BMI that they'll allow you to be referred for this surgery, like to even talk to them, which I was pretty annoyed about because BMI is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous scale. It was made up by a Nazi. It's literally just a ratio, and it does not truly mean anything as far as like health is concerned. But that was the standard, and me arguing with it's not going to change the standard. So I said, okay. And breast reduction is not like a super expensive surgery of like, obviously it's expensive as far as like it's thousands of dollars, but compared to some, not that expensive. And so I was like, okay, I could potentially budget for this and just pay this out of pocket, pay it over time, and still get it. So maybe I'll just talk to someone not through my insurance. So I booked an appointment at a place to see if they could let me pay out of pocket for it. I'm not gonna say the name of the place. I don't even know if I remember the name. I would never go back there. I had a terrible time. I went in and they took like vitals, and I guess my blood pressure was kind of high, and it's like never read high before. I have had high cholesterol before, but not blood pressure. That's never been brought up to me. And so the person was like very concerned that I had high blood pressure, and they were like, you might need to get a cuff for your house, like to make sure you're checking it regularly. Even after I was like, no, I don't have heart issues and this has not been a concern. Which just felt kind of fat phobic to me, didn't feel good. And maybe it wasn't, but I also don't know that a plastic surgeon's nurse should be telling me, how to fix my heart issues that she doesn't even know that I have. Like, if my PCP doesn't think I'm having a problem with it, I think we're okay. And maybe you're not the person to provide this advice. I don't know the ethics of nurses giving you medical advice and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna, speculate on that. I just don't think it was appropriate for where we were or what was going on. They also had you change into like a little robe or something, to put over yourself so that when the doctor came in, you could take it off and be shirtless so that they could check out, the situation, and make sure that it would make sense for you to have that done. It would be able to be done, etc. And none of them fit me even a little bit. And I don't even mean fit me like closed. I mean, I found one I could wrap over my body where it would cover me somewhat. And that was uncomfortable, disheartening. That was clearly like, oh yeah, I feel like a gigantic person right now. And I, I've been, like I said, I've been fat my whole life. I've been overweight. I'm not like incredibly overweight. So I was just like, this is really uncomfortable, but I'm already here and I do want to talk to this doctor. So like, let's just get to that part and then hopefully things will be fine. Things were not fine. The doctor finally came in, talked to me for a while, had me undress, checked me out, said like, yeah, you would be a great candidate for us to do that with. Unfortunately, your BMI is too high, so we can't do that. And I was like, okay, I thought that was an insurance requirement, obviously, but if this was going to be true the whole time, I'm like, why wouldn't you ask me before I even got here what my BMI was? Why would we waste all this time on this appointment when I can't get the service from you that I want to get for something we could just rule out before I even arrived? Like, it was very frustrating. And once again, I felt very like uncomfortable. I felt very like fat shamed in a way. And I was at that time just like, I never want to think about dieting again. I hate it. I spent so much of my life thinking about being smaller and like being frustrated that I'm fat and stuff like that, that I was just like, I don't want to worry about that anymore. And so to hear that like I was not going to be able to fix this like chronic pain issue I have because of my weight was just like, God, this sucks so bad. I was like tearing up. I'm like trying not to cry in this doctor's office. And yeah, it was just incredibly frustrating, including, so I've previously had weight loss surgery. Clearly it worked somewhat, but it didn't fix my emotional eating issues, obviously. And so therefore it only worked as well as I did mentally, which wasn't great for a while. And so I mentioned that I'd had weight loss surgery because she asked, and then she was like, well, maybe it didn't work. Like maybe they need to redo it, which to me is insane because I looked it up after this appointment to be like, hey, why does my BMI need to be that low? Because I thought it was an insurance thing for them to be like, hey, if you lose weight, maybe your breast tissue will reduce because that happens for some people. It does not happen for me. I'm like 5'6", 5'7". I've been 135 pounds and my boobs were the same size and I looked insane. So I was just like, yeah, that doesn't happen for me. I understand it happens for a lot of people. And so I was like, okay, maybe that's why. But then why would I be rejected for it out of pocket for this? So I looked it up after I got home, and the answer is that they're worried about complications in surgery, which to me is just not true. Like, I guess they're saying that's what it is, but it feels fat phobic in that, like, if I had breast cancer, they'd do it, right away, obviously, because I would be dying and they wouldn't care. In the same way that she was telling me to potentially get redone a surgery on my internal organs, where definitely there's a higher likelihood that I would have complications in surgery, right? But because it would be to fix my, quote unquote weight problem with a weight loss thing, they were like, oh yeah, that'll work. You should do that. She also suggested I look into the variety of weight loss drugs that are available right now, like Wegovy, Manjaro, those kind of ones, which I'm not interested in. I've done research on. It looks like they could potentially be very damaging. And also, you know, I want the people who have diabetes who need those to have those. So I was just like, And she said all this without asking me, like, hey, do you want to lose weight? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you interested in losing weight for this? Or is that not worth it? And also without asking, like, hey, are you recovering from feeling like your weight makes you horrible and unhealthy and disgusting your whole life and trying to get over that? And so you don't want to hear me tell you 50 ways that I think you could lose weight in order to get this done because clearly you need to. And yeah, it was very uncomfortable and I hated it. So on the way home from this meeting, I was crying and I was super frustrated and I just felt really hopeless, you know, that it was like, there's just like literally no one will let me get this surgery just because I weigh a certain amount and I'm just gonna have to deal with this pain forever and like that sucks. And yeah, it was just like not fun, you know, like not a good feeling afterwards at all. But I've also been working on my mental health this year. I'm on ADHD medication, which has been helping me a ton in just like being able to focus and relax and just feel like I'm able to do things. It's very exciting. And I've also been in therapy, which has been great. Like I've been working a lot on like self-esteem stuff. I've been working a lot on being more patient and kind to myself and just trying to, you know, fix and realize some of the like internal issues that I was having that I was previously treating with food. I've known I was an emotional eater my whole life, and it was just, you know, it was an easy way to deal with the stresses of being a child, of being an adult. At any time, food's like available, it's easy. A lot of times it's cheap to get food that gives you, you know, comforting feelings, that gives you the dopamine. And especially since the reason people have ADHD is because they lack natural production of dopamine, I think for a long time I was supplementing that with food. So near the end of this year, I started in like August, I think, maybe. I think so. But not really, because I started doing Weight Watchers in August just to be like, well, let's just see how I do. Maybe I'll just try, you know, let's try something that's like not super restrictive, it's not super specific, and that way maybe I can still kind of eat things I'd like to eat, but I don't have to feel like I'm gonna binge on something because I like really need to have it, you know what I mean? Because I've definitely done it before when I've like restricted and then been like, but all I want is pizza, and then I just eat pizza for 3 days, you know? It's very common, like that's just kind of how the human brain works, that it's like when you are desperately trying not to think about something, it's what you think about. When you're trying not to crave something, it's what you crave. It's kind of how it goes. So yeah, in August, I was like, let's give this a shot. But then I went on a vacation with my niece to Australia, obviously. And there I just ate whatever I wanted and gained the weight back that I lost, I think. And then I didn't really care in between that. And then I had another trip in early September, or like late August, early September, with my mom, where we went to New York City. Eventually I'll have videos for both of those up for like, you know, showing you my travel vlogs, because I was recording even though I wasn't vlogging yet. But, you know, just ate whatever and obviously gained some weight back. But since then, I've been doing Weight Watchers and I've been doing really well. I've been consistently losing weight, and, you know, a lot of that is that I've had weight loss surgery, so it makes it a lot easier. And a lot of it's like I've just been sticking to it. I've been really on top of it. And I've lost like almost 40 pounds since, that would be September, and it's December now. It's in like the last 3 months, which is pretty fast. I understand it's pretty fast. But it's generally like 1 or 2 pounds a week. A couple times it's been like 3 or 4. Right, you know, right away it was a bunch because I gained from trip and then I'd lost after trip. So there's that. But it's been pretty steady, and right now I'm 227, and I believe I need to be 217, I think, to be the right BMI for my height. I'm hoping to be more like 210 or 215 to go to the doctor just to be sure that I'm like, you know, not going to be like a point 0.5 pounds off. And then they're like, we can't recommend you because the numbers, the numbers are God and they have to be correct. But I'm gonna be honest, it sucks. I hate it. Hate dieting. It's so annoying. It's like kind of stressful for me every day to do. I don't like it. I try just to avoid thinking about it because it's just gonna stress me out and make me uncomfortable. Um, it's working. I've been able to do it, but I don't like doing it and I don't want to do it. And it's incredibly likely that after I get the surgery, because obviously I need to maintain the BMI to get the surgery, after the surgery that I'm not going to be dieting anymore, and that I'm just going to, be happy and be done. So yeah, this is very much goal-oriented losing weight, and that like this, I just want to get the surgery. I just want to get a breast reduction. So I'm hoping that I'll be in the right BMI early next year, like January, February, and then that I'll be able to get it scheduled pretty quick after I meet with, get a referral and meet with a surgeon or, whoever. And yeah, you'll be on that journey with me as well, hopefully. So that's one of my goals for next year. It's on my vision board. It was on my vision board for this year, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. But made a lot of progress this year towards it right at the end. So, was part of the vision. And hopefully next year we're there. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's where we're at. So thanks for listening. Hopefully you'll see me soon within, the next few months. I'll be able to get this appointment done, and then I'll be able to get the referral, and then hopefully I'll be able to get the surgery. I'm hoping in like the first half of next year, but obviously I know it's scheduling for everything takes months and months here, so we'll see. I prefer to get it done before I have a trip in June, but if not, obviously after the June trip, because I will be in Germany with my niece for her like graduation trip present, which should be very exciting. And yeah, so thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll have good updates on this soon.